Hello, so we're going to try and start the Django simple blog application. And let's see, this is Ubuntu 1804 Bionic LTS. Now let's check our Python version. Oop. Version point 3.69. Alright, so first we're going to create a virtual environment. We're gonna call it my environment 2. Okay, and then we're going to activate it. Being activated, and there you go. One thing I wanted to say real quick before we go any further is you have to install this is not Windows. Uh, so let's activate the virtual environment there. Okay, so if you saw what I did, you can see that you can deactivate it with that command there. Okay, installing the Django with pip. So we're going to install, let me see real quick. Okay, so let's install the Django. First of all, let me see something real quick. Let's see if okay, so that doesn't matter once we're in the Python environment. Let's try this. Let's see if the Django is already installed. I don't think it is. Nope, it isn't. Okay. So now I know. So anyways, we're going to install the Django inside the environment. This is the command here, 3.0 star and it should install and the Django 3 point something. So now we could try and do what I was trying to do earlier, and it should not give me that error. Checking the version 3.08. Oop, not clear. We're inside of Python, so we hit clear. Alright, since we see that we get a version here, you saw that we got 3.08, I believe. We're okay so far. So we're gonna build our own blog, so let's start at it. Admin, start project, my site. Oh, it already exists. I'm sorry. So let's do my site too. I'm gonna have to add a 2 to everything. And now we could see. Oh, you can also probably going to have to run this command, pip install tree. It's already installed. So anyways, my site, so two, and this is what you get. My site, this is manage pi here, what we use to run server, to test our server. I've not done so much WSGI but or ASGI, but what that is how you actually run the actual server. The run server command is not recommended for development, or it's not recommended for live websites. It's only recommended to test the server. I want to show you the I want to show you the settings page. See how much it'll show us. See how much we get here. If you have a domain that you're running it, you're going to have to put the command here. I'm going to show you how to do that, and I just showed you my secret key, didn't I? That's okay, I'm not going to be running this anyways. So let's start by doing that. So we're gonna use the nano editing settings, and this so I could show you what we're actually doing. So in here, or yeah, so I can show, because I'm running this on a live server right now, and this would be the command that you want in here. This way, this allows you to type in www.posrescue.com when you go to run the server to test the things that we have done. So let's go back to our root real quick. The manage .py is a command line utility used to interact with your project. So let's see, and like I said, the wsgi.py is the configuration to run your project as a web server gateway interface application. Okay, so let's go into my site and let's run this command here, and that should be cool. Let's see. The preceding lines are the database migrations that are applied by the Django. So now let's run the server, and this is a very simple command. As you can see, this is so that you run it. You see this here, this says it's literally, since I'm running it on a virtual private server, I can't see it because it's running on the local host, or it's the loopback, whatever you want to call it. So in order to fix that problem, what we're going to have to do is run server command and add this right here. You could add whatever you want. You could do 443 or 80. I like to do 80 because for some reason it just works better to just type it in. I don't have to type in 443. And also because I think I don't have any SSL installed yet on this. Again, this is we're doing it this way so that we don't have to what am I trying to say? So that we don't have to type it all out. We just type out posrescue.com. So see the difference here? It tells you that you're running it here. So now we just check our give me a second here to fix this little thing here. Let's see. So let me show you what it looks like. First, you're gonna see output here when we hit the. We should see a 200. Let's see what we get. See, We get this, oh, it's a 404 here, but we get this 200 here, so that's good. Here you go. I'm going to show you that it installed and worked successfully. If you want to log in as an admin, you can. I'm sure, I think by default it's admin with no password, I think. Or is it admin with password with no, let's see. Oh, I guess not. Well, anyways, so that's the basic setup of a Django site. Let's continue. Okay, so project settings. Let's open the settings.py file and take a look at the configuration of the project. So let's see here. Let's go through this real quick. Well, let's go in it instead of just displaying it. So I showed you the POS rescue if you're running a domain on it. Behind it, I am for this project, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Let's go to here is where we're going to add our installed apps. Every app we made, like our admin, how I went onto the admin page, it's right there. So here we're going to add a space for our blog application. There's a little more things here that we run into. Templates. We can tell it where our templates is at. So basically where it runs our like CSS and so on. Right here, our databases. It's running, I guess it's running SQLite by default, and that's okay. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's start by creating our first. Let's start by creating our application. So we're going to use this command here, start app blog. Cool. So now we can see what we created with blog. So blog has a migrations folder, and in it has init.py. We have where we create our data models, our views, and I'm not sure how many of them we're going to be messing with, but we will make some changes to some files on here. Okay, so let's go through it. The admin.py. This is where you register models to include them in the Django administration site, using this site as optional. The apps.py. This includes the main configuration of the blog application. Migrations. This directory will contain database migrations of your application. Migrations allow the Django to track your model changes and synchronize the database accordingly. Models.py. This includes the data models of your applications. All the Django applications need to have a models.py file, but this file can be left empty. Test.py. This is where you can add tests for your application. Views.py is the logic of your application goes here. Each view receives an HTTP request, processes it, and returns a response. So now let's design the blog data scheme. So we're going to go ahead and define a post model. Add the following lines to the models.py file of the blog applications. So we go into the blog application. If you want, clear the screen, look at the file that I just showed you with the tree command. So now we're going to go into the models.py, and you see there's nothing here. Let's go ahead and show you what I need to paste. I'm just copy and paste. I'm not gonna type it all out. Let's see, models. might take a little while. I probably should have practiced this, right? Let's see here. Mm, mm. So let's see, return subtitle. Let me just make sure that this is what I want to put here. Let's delete all of this. Delete the first line since we're just gonna copy and paste to make it go a little quicker. Just give it a little bit of time. Okay, so let's see if we can. There we go. Okay. So I hope it doesn't do it like 3 times, but let me make sure that class post models. Okay, we don't want this yet. Oops. Class post models.model status choice draft publish title slug objects on delete title slug author unique for date publish blog post on delete models cascade related name equals blog post body models dot text field publish models date time field created updated status. And we can delete this here too. I kind of dislike using the server. I actually prefer using virtual machine because the server kind of is slow and I don't like how slow it is. And that's it. So let's go through this real quick so you can understand. So it's pretty simple. Right here we're importing models. Right here we're importing time zone. We're importing user. We're importing reverse. Which yeah, we don't need this one here yet either. Not yet. You don't really get an error for having it there. But anyways, so the class we're creating is called post. And here the status choices are draft, publish, publish. The title, so it's going to be the title of our blog. The slug is let's see here. The slug is like 1, 2, 3, 4. First blog, you can change that. Author, who your author is, obviously admin. Model is like a text box. Publish, it tells this is just creating the default time zone. Create when it was created, when it was last updated, and the status of it, whether it's a draft or publish. So let's save this. And let's go through it real quick. Let's see if it's small enough to fit all in one command. So again, the title, this is for your post title. This is a character field, which translates into varchar in the SQL database. Slug, this is a field intended to be used in URLs. A slug is a short label that contains only letters, numbers, underscores, or hyphens. You will use the slug field to build beautiful SEO-friendly URLs for your blog posts. Author, This defines a many-to-one relationship, meaning that each post is written by a user, and a user can write any number of posts. Body, this is the body of the post. Published, this date time indicates when the post was published. You use the Django's time zone now method as a default value. Created, another date time which indicates when the post was created. Since you are using auto now add here, that date will save automatically. Updated, this date time indicates the last time the post was updated. Since you are using auto now here, the date will be updated. Status, this field shows the status of a post. Alright, we're going to activate the application. In order for Django to keep track of your applications and be able to create database tables for its models, you have to activate it. To do this, we're going to have to edit the settings.py file and add blog.apps.blogconfig to the installed app settings. It should look like this. Let me show you where are we at. Okay, so we got to go back to this folder here. See the settings there? Remember I showed you the settings a little earlier. So, and I'm sorry if I'm reading from it, it's just I took notes in order to do this. So I've been trying to, that way I have something more straight from the book to help you out with, so you could understand what we're doing. Because to be honest with you, I don't completely understand what is going on here, but I get most of the gist of it. Okay, so blog.apps.config. Now the Django knows that your application is active for this project, and you will be able to load its models. So the one thing that was interesting to me is here we have blog.apps.blogconfigs, and those were the data models you were creating. So we were creating essentially the blueprint for our blog, which is the title of the blog, the author, all the other stuff that you saw me create there. Since it's still here, I'm going to go ahead and go through it real quick. Again, data models. It's kind of important to understand this here. The title of the blog, the slug, SEO friendly, who the author is going to be, admin, obviously, the body, what we want in the blog, published, created, and as you can see, Django comes with methods, built-in methods you can use to update your site. Okay, so now since we're going to be here, we gotta go back one, make sure that the manage pie is there, make migrations blog. Okay, you should see the following input. You can go into this file here. Let's see, I believe it's going to be inside migrations. Yep, there it is right there. There you go. See, so it created, I believe what we did here is we created the migrations to go over into the SQL. So we're using, I guess like I showed you earlier, we're using SQLite by default, and this is what it turned it into. So this is more something that SQL can understand, as you can see. So let's see, let's run this command here real quick. Let's run this command here real quick. SQL migrate blog 0001. Let's see if I can give you a quick as you can see in the output, Django generates the table names by combining the application name and the lowercase name of the model, blog_post. This right here. But you can also specify a custom database name for your model in the meta class of the model using the DT. And finally, let's just go ahead and migrate it. Nice, okay. You just applied the migrations for the application listed in installed apps, including your blog application. After applying the migrations, the database reflects the current status of your models. Okay, so now we're going to create an administration site for these models. Let's create a super user. So do you remember, let me show you real quick. This shouldn't take too long. Shouldn't take too long. So I remember showing you this, right? And then we went to admin and I tried logging in, but I couldn't. I don't remember the default username and password for the Django. Well, what we're gonna do here is we're going to create the user that logs into that site. So we go Python manage py create super user. For root, so we're gonna call it admin. The email address is going to be admin@admin.com, and the password, I'm not going to tell you the password, but you can set your own password there. So now when we do run this here, run server here, and we do this, we're going to go ahead and this time we should be able to log in to the site. I think we said it was admin, whatever password you created, and there you go. And you'll see the users. I think you're only gonna see 2 users or 1 user. So there you go. So that's pretty neat. This is what I like about Django. It's hard because the learning curve is kind of steep when you want to use the Django, but at least you have full control over everything that you do, or at least from a newbie intermediate perspective, it seems that way. So the group and user that we saw, that you saw in when we logged in, where it said groups and users, are part of the Django authentication framework located in django.contrib.auth. If you click on users, you will see the user we created, which we did. Alright, so let's add your blog models to the administration site. Edit the admin.py file of the blog application and make it look like this. So we go into the blog, we go into the admin.py file, and this is real short, so I'll just go ahead and type it in by hand. Dot models, import post, admin site register posts, and that's it for that one. Now when we go back into the admin page, you should see your post model on the site, and I'll show you that. So let's save this. Let's go back one. Let's go here to the same command. So once we hit this command here and we go back to that page, see, now we see the post and 0 posts, still no post. We can add and change. So far, click on the add link. So let's add our post, and now you will see how we created those data models, and here it is right here. So let's fill in the form, the title. We're going to say, let's just choose a welcome to the Django Slug 1 author, admin body. This is my first Django blog. It gives you the time here, draft. We're gonna save it. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's add another post here, and we're gonna go ahead and this is my second post to admin. This is my second blog post, and again we're gonna publish it. So now we have 2 official posts in our blog. So that's pretty simple there. So far so good. Alright, so now let's customize the way the models are displayed. So let's go here, cut the server off. Again, you don't want to be running this live. Edit the admin.py. So let's go into the blog, back into the admin.py, and import admin, import post. And add this symbol here, admin.register admin. Remove this here, and then class post admin model pi class post admin. All right, 1 2 3 4. List display equals title slug author publish. The only thing about Python is that it's very finicky with your indentation. I'm not sure why, so it has to be perfect. So if we get some errors while I'm doing this video, that's probably going to be the main reason why, and because I misspell. You know, you're typing so fast that you don't know what's going on, you know, or you make mistakes. I think everybody that types makes mistakes. So hopefully that's okay, and we're gonna save it. So basically, let's see what we did here. You are telling the Django administration site that your model is registered in the site using a custom class that inherits from model admin. In this class, you can include information about how to display the model in the site and how to interact with it. The list display attribute allows you to set the fields of your model that you want to display on the administration object display. The admin.register decorator performs the same function as the admin.site.register. Let's customize it some more and make it look like this. So okay, let me just copy and paste this part here so that we can see what's going on here. So list filter. Okay, so here we go. Let's customize it. And again, like I told you, it's very finicky on the spaces, and since we're doing a lot of copy and paste, it's probably going to give me some errors, so bear with me when I try to fix the errors. So let's see here. So I wonder, let me see if you can see the difference of what it's going to look like. I think we are going to see the difference. So this is what it looks like. Well, let's see if it's still in memory. No, it's not gonna show, but let's go back to let's go back to that. Oh, see, told you we're already having errors. See, and it's the same error that I knew I was gonna get. inconsistent use of tabs and spaces and indentations. So, like I said, um, um, it's very finicky when it comes to that. So let's see inconsistent use of tabs and spaces, search fields. Let's see what this thing is talking about. So we need to get back into this one, and I believe, no, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong one. Let's go to this one here. Let's see if it's, this will fix it here. Uh, since I'm recording this, like I'm trying to like get it done, so I don't want to really mess with those errors, but I tried my best this time by copying and pasting, and it's still going to give me those errors if I do it wrong. So if I don't indent properly, and that's just the Django or Python. So this time it works, so now maybe I can show you the difference. Let's see. So you see this slug, author, augment, status. Here we have different, it looks different now basically. I wish I could show you how it looked before, where it was just, it just said this post right here, but now it's showing us the slug, the author, when it was published, and the status. So let's go ahead and continue now. All right, so let's uh, let's continue. So now we're gonna be working with query sets and managers. So let's clear the page. The Django object relational mapper is compatible with MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite, Oracle, and MariaDB. Remember that you can define the database in your project, where I told you earlier in the databases setting of your project settings.py file. So once you have created the data models, Django gives you a free API to interact with them. You can define the data model reference of the official documentation, blah blah blah. So let's do this here. I don't really want to show this, but since it's in the book I'm following, I might as well just show you what it's going to do. Eventually I get an error. I don't know why, but, or I don't get an error, but I don't see, well, I see the benefit of it is you can update your databases from the interactive console here that I'm showing you. So I guess that's a plus, right? Alright, so I think we're going to create another post with this. I'm not too sure. So user another post. Okay, and then we do slug equals, oh, I should have named that third post, I'm sorry. So the slug is going to be 3 following the model that I was doing. Body equals, let's see, what is body? This is my third Django blog post. Author equals admin, and then, oh man, see, this is where I get a little name admin is not defined. author equals admin. Okay, I'm not sure if we have to do this again. Okay, let's just try this again. The Django contrib auth model import user from blog dot models import post. So we're importing the post class that we created. User. Oh, okay. So that's why it gave us error. You see here, we have user equal user objects dot get dot username equals admin. I was just supposed to substitute this because we're already importing admin from our whatever from our data models. So right here I needed to put user. So user equals user dot objects dot get username equals admin. So that should be okay. User post is going to be post. Title, this is, maybe we'll get another shot. So this is third post, just to keep in line with what we're doing, you know. Alright, so now we're going to name the slug is going to be 3. Okay, the body is going to be, this is my third Django blog post. User, or I'm sorry, what is it? I missed the R there. Like I said, it's very important that you type everything out. You know, this, for the reason of this video, I want it to be perfect, you know, but it's not going to be perfect. So like I said, just bear with me and my mistakes. So this should be okay. Yep. And now we're gonna save the post. And again, this is the beauty of like the Django. You can do everything, like from the, if you know the Python language, you can mess around with it, you know, if you know it well enough. And it's cool because it's from scratch compared to WordPress where it's all done for you and you kind of don't know what you're doing, especially if you've never studied PHP. I've studied a little bit of Python, so that's why it kind of makes sense to me, but that's just me. We're all different, right? Okay, so I kind of already explained what we did here. We're kind of importing the user, we're importing post that we created. We know that it's admin. We should probably be here. Third post 3, this is my third 1 2 3 author user, which we created here, we saved. Let's see real quick. The get method allows you to retrieve a single object from the database. Note that this method expects a result that matches the query. If no results are returned by the database, this method will raise a does not exist exception. See here, so we saved it. Just to let you know, the preceding action performs an insert SQL statement behind the scenes. You have seen how to create an object in memory first and then persist it to the database, but you can also create the object and persist it into the database in a single operation using the create method as follows. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see if this is, if I'm understanding this correctly. I kind of was like thrown off by this because I had never seen blog updating from behind the scenes using the Python console, but I think it's pretty neat. So we change it from third, we're gonna change it to capitalized third, and then because what was it, third post. So we're gonna change it from third post like this to third post with third capitalized, and that's it. It's that simple. There we go. Post.save, and it should save. And this time the save method performs an update SQL statement. The changes you make to the object are not persisted to the database until you call the save method. So now we're gonna talk about retrieving objects. So let's see here. Let me look at this real quick. Give me a second. Uh, Let me grab some water real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I needed some water. Um, so I guess what we're trying to do here, or what we're gonna do next, is kind of like continue using MySQL using Python, or in this case SQLite, um, using um, Python, the Python language. All right, so I think right here we're bringing all the posts. So we have 3 posts, right? And now when we call it third post, then all posts, everything, post, third post. This is my second post. Welcome to Django, the first post. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. So remember we create. I don't know if you remember. Let's see if I can show you where. Post objects filter. Let's see. I think this is where I started getting the error, but I'm not sure. So let's just continue. These are all the ones that were published in the year 2020. We're still in the year 2020. I want to try something though. Let me see if I can. I was gonna put 1999, but I wish it was 1999. 0. So we didn't do any in 2021 or 2019. Let's see what happens if we use a future year. Nothing, because we're not in the year 21. I expected an error, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's see here. Let's use this. Put a comma here. And then author, username equals admin. 2021. So let's change this to 0. And now we should get those same 3. So that's pretty cool. Using exclude. Let's skip the rest of this, but that's pretty cool. Creating model managers. Let's see. There are 2 ways you can add or customize managers for your models. You can add extra manager methods to an existing manager, or create a new manager by modifying the initial query set that the manager returns. The first method provides you with a query set API such as post.objects, blah blah blah. So let's edit the models.py file of your blog application to add the custom manager. So first let's quit Python. We're still in our interactive. Let's see here. Models.py, I think is the one. So now we're going to have to add some more. Let's see here, code, some more code. So now we're going to add the following. Let's see, class post model above it. So now we're adding the let's see where we manager name. So we added a custom manager. Let's save it. And now it says, let me see if it says where to, what are we, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to add, to do something. Under class post here, we're going to add objects equals models dot manager dot the default manager. Let's see, published manager. Our custom manager. Alright, so we had to edit this that way. Let me read what it says about this here. The first manager declared in a model becomes a default manager. You can use the meta attribute a default underscore manager underscore name to specify a different default manager. If no manager is defined in a model, the Django automatically creates the object's default manager for it. If you declare any managers for your model but you want to keep the object's manager as well, you have to add it explicitly to your model. In the preceding code, you add the default objects manager and the published custom managers to the post model. So I don't know if that's gonna make sense to you or not, but it doesn't really even make sense to me. It sorta does, but that's what the book says. So it says to go ahead and start the server again. With this one, okay. Now you can import the post model and retrieve all published posts whose title starts with who, executing the following query set from blog.models import post published dot filter title let's see, title starts with how about we use, what were the name on, let's see, how about it starts with welcome, because I think if we put who, because the book used something else, see in the book it tells you to use who and it gives you nothing, right? But if I put welcome, or if I put maybe what this, I think this is my second post, and I think the other one was third, right? Nope. This is my, what did we name the third one? Do you remember? I don't remember. Anyways, the Django View is just a Python function that receives a web request and returns a web response. All the logic to return the desired response goes inside the view. First, you will create your application views, then you will define a URL pattern for each view. And finally, you will create HTML templates to render the data generated by the views. Each view will render a template passing variables to it and will return an HTTP response with the rendered output. Now, I'm still kind of new at this, and I guess what this is doing, and how I see it when I was editing a WordPress site that uses a PHP, Python is the same thing, Python PHP, right? It's like the backend. So technically what it does, it kind of hides your HTML, it hides your code behind the scenes so that you can't really see it, even though you can still inspect the website and see it. But you can't, it makes it a little harder to edit it. I'm not sure the science or the logic behind that, but that's what I'm getting from all this that we're doing. So All right, let's go ahead and quit. I hope I make sense. So, like, your HTML can't be exposed. You know, none of your stuff could be exposed. So, what it does, it kind of uses, it's like a middleman, you want to say, where it kind of, you use functions and classes and all this to uh, put the HTML where you tell it to go, the same way PHP on WordPress sites does. And it is a bit confusing, especially if you don't know the language, right? And like I said, I know Python a little bit, so that's why I kind of feel more comfortable using this, even though PHP, at least with PHP, you find a lot of resources on the internet that help you. Okay, so let's go into the views. CD blog views nano views.py. So from the Django.shortcuts, import render, uh, get object or 404 from dot models, import post, def post list, request. Let's try if we do this way. See if we don't get that indentation error with this. Oh, I think I'm doing it wrong here. Post. I already did that. Return. Sorry. Return render. Request. Blog. I haven't gotten the hang of how to do all these indentations using Nano. So, like I said, if we get those errors, just bear with me. Post. Post. No, it's that and then this. Okay. You just created your first Django view. The post underscore list function takes the request object as the only parameter. This parameter is required by all views. In this view, you retrieve all the posts with the published status using the publish managers that you created previously. Finally, you use the render shortcut provided by Django to render the list of posts with the given template. This function takes the request object, the template path, and the context variables to render the given template. It returns an HTTP response object with the rendered text, normally HTML code. The render shortcut takes the request context into account, so any variable set by the template context processors is accessible by the given template. Template context processors are just callables that set variables into context. You will learn more about this later. Let's create a second view to display a single post. Add the following function to the views.py file. Is this the? Yes, I think it is. The views.py file. The only thing I could tell you here is that, or the quick and short way to tell you is that we're using the views to grab the list.html file that we're going to create and the blog and the detail.html. So one is a list of our blog posts, and then the other one is a detailed look. So we're basically on one HTML file, we're going to just see all our blog posts, and then the other one, when we click on it, we're supposed to see the whole post. So I hope we don't get an error from the indentation and all that stuff, but let's see how it goes. So this is the post detail view. This view takes the year, month, date, and post arguments to retrieve a published post with the given slug and date. Note that when you created the post model, you added the unique for date parameter to the slug field. This ensures there will be only one post with a slug for a given date, and thus you can retrieve single posts using the date slug. Alright, so now we gotta add URL patterns for our views. We're gonna save it, and one way that I check is I run the file. If it see comma allowed, it says comma not allowed with surrounding parentheses. So let's see where the error is. Render. It is something. I think this is the error here, maybe. Let's see if this fixes it. Okay, so I think this fixes it. It's no module or something, but I think that's better. Alright, let's see here. So what else? Adding URL patterns allow you to map URLs to views. A URL pattern is composed of a string pattern, a view, and optionally a name that allows you to name the URL project wide. The Django runs through each URL pattern and stops at the first one that matches the requested URL. Then the Django imports the view of the matching URL pattern and executes it, passing an instance of the HTTP request class and the keyword or positional arguments. Okay, so let's clear here. Let's go to blog. Oh, we are in blog already. And let's go to the URLs files. Oh, we have to create the file here. So let me go to blog. Let me just copy and paste real quick. I hate when it gets slow like that. Okay, so maybe it's not working. There we go. Okay. Name blog, post views, post details. In the preceding code, you define an application namespace with the app_name variable. This allows you to organize URLs by application and use the name of referring to them. You define two different patterns using the path function. The first URL pattern does not take any arguments and is mapped to the post_list view. The second pattern takes the following 4 arguments and is mapped to the post_detail view. Creating a URLs.py file for each application is the best way to make your applications reusable by other projects. Alright, so now we're going to update another URLs file, but we're going to go back into the, we're going to go back one and then go into it, and then it should have a URLs. Yep. So, import admin, import path, and then include that error we got earlier. I think it's because of this. It doesn't allow you can't do this. You have to do it this way. So hopefully that was the only reason that we got an error. So path blog comma include blog.urls. Oh, no, wrong. blog. The new URL pattern defined with include refers to the URL patterns defined in a blog application so that they are included under the blog path. You include these patterns under the namespace blog. Namespaces have to be unique across your entire project. Later, you will refer to your blog URLs easily by using the namespace followed by a colon and the URL name. Okay, let's continue. Let's edit the models.py file. The models.py file of the blog application. Give me 1 second here. So let's go back one. Let's go back into blog. Let's go into models. Import. I think we need to add this to it first. We got imported models, we got endzone, and we got user. We also have to now import URLs, import reverse, okay, class post models, and here we can put this bit of code here, which would be 1, 2. Let's see if we can't absolute. Okay, see if I can give you a quick explanation here. You will use the get absolute URL method in your templates to link specific posts. You have created views and URLs patterns for the blog application. URL patterns map URLs to views, and views decide which data gets returned to the user. Templates define how the data is displayed. They are usually written in HTML combination with the Django template language. You can find more information about the Django template language on the DjangoProject.com website. Alright, so now inside the blog application, we're going to let me create it first. So we can see here. So we're gonna make a directory templates. Inside this templates, we're going to create blog or make directory blog, and then inside of blog, we're going to make a directory post. So let's go back. Tree templates. So it should look like this, and inside we're inside of templates, inside of blog, we're going to create base.html. I'm not sure how to add comments in HTML files. Something here, and we're gonna save it, say yes. And now we're gonna go back one. We're gonna go into the post. Blog, and inside post, and then we're gonna create 2 more files. Those 2 files that we talked about earlier. List. Something here. Yes. And we're going to create another one here. Detail HTML. Something here. So now if we go back, let's go back to blog. Let's see, I keep forgetting how to do these. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back and use this here. So this is how it's supposed to look. We don't have nothing in there yet, but the preceding structure will be the file structure for your templates. The base HTML file will include the main HTML structure of the website and divide the content into the main content area and a sidebar. The list.html and detail.html files will inherit from the base.html file to render the blog, post list, and details views respectively. Alright, so first we're going to go into the base HTML file. So, let me see. Oh yeah, base HTML. So, and it's going to look like this. Based. And we're going to delete that, and we're going to actually put some code in there. Let's see if we can get a quick explanation. This, where do we have here? Okay, the load static at the top here tells Django to load the static template tags that are provided by the Django.contrib.static files application, which is contained in the installed app settings. After loading them, I think this is important here to know. Again, that first line there tells the Django to load the static template tags that are provided by the Django.contrib.static files application, which is contained in the installed app settings. After loading them, you are able to use the static template throughout this template, which this template okay, so let's save that, and now we're going to go and I have to do something here behind the scenes so I could show you. Oops. Blog templates. Make another directory. Name static, and then we're going to create. Let's see, inside of this, we're going to create. Let's see, a CSS file. So. Give me a second so I could copy this file here. Okay, so now I should see a file here, static CSS. And this is just a file. I will tell you where you can find it if you just want to upload it. But it's a file. If you know CSS, you know what's there. Again, I don't know a lot of HTML and CSS or JavaScript, but I'm learning it a little bit by little bit. Okay, so I will give you, let me see if I can give you the link here real quick where you can find the whole project of what I'm doing. Let me see here. So this is the file. This is the I'm gonna keep just putting it there for you just so you could see it. Oops. It's on GitHub, and that's where you can get this whole project here. Okay, so let's go back one. Let's go back another one. Let's edit that this file, the list.html file. So this is the wrong one, sorry. Give me 1 second here to do this. Again, which one is this one? Which one did we just do? List, yeah, list. Alright. So with the extends template tag utility Django to inherit from the blog /base.html template, then you fill the title and content blocks of the base template with the content. You iterate through the post and display their title, date, author, and body, including a link in the title to the canonical URL for the post. All right. So, oops. We don't want to repeat it twice, do we? Let's see here. Let's save it. Okay. Now, we did those 3 posts and they should be published because you can leave them as draft. And this is where I get the mistake, that I got the mistake last time. But let me um, edit this. Well, no, you know what? Let's do it now since it wants us to do this now. Uh, so let's go back and we want to go to this um, this right here. Okay. So this is my blog. This is my third. All right. We don't see the third one for some reason. Maybe because it's not it's not published, but it's okay as long as we see these. Let's see right here what we get. See, this is the error that I got last time, and I'm still getting it. Like I click on the link and it won't go to the actual link, but it's supposed to. At least that's what it's supposed to do, right? But I'm getting a 404 and I got a 301, so I'm not sure why. I haven't fixed it. I haven't figured out why. But that's okay, right? As long as we kind of get where we want to get. Blog templates, blog again, post, nano. And if you're confused, I mean, just follow this. Don't get so discouraged. I still get confused, and I've been doing this. I've done this like 3 or 4 times, but at least it helps you, you know. It every time you do it, you learn something. So don't get too discouraged. All right, now edit this, add this to that file, and then you can return to the browser and click on the post titles to take a look at the so this is where I'm getting messed up. I don't know why. So I do add this, right? And I save it, and then I go back and I go to my site, and then I run the command. Right? And it goes okay. It lets me do it, right? But again, this is where I should reload it and it's still gonna work. But see, it still does not let me click onto the link, and it's not showing me my CSS. I don't know why that is. I don't know if I have it on the wrong post or if it's maybe I need to edit the template to tell it where to go. Let me see if I can find where I made the mistake real quick. Let's see. CSS blog. Maybe that's where the mistake is at. Let me see here. Which one is this one? Base HTML. Templates. CT blog. Nano. Base HTML. Yeah, this might be the error here. I'm trying to get it to go to CSS, CSS static. don't think I'm gonna be able to find my mistake right now. It's working and everything, and I'm still getting these errors. And I think the reason is, let's see here, I may have misspelled something or whatever, but you know, it's a start. You just gotta troubleshoot your own mistakes. Obviously, I'm not gonna troubleshoot the mistakes here with you guys. I don't know if this will make a difference. It didn't last time if I put Python 3 instead of that doesn't make a difference. That doesn't make a difference. So, you know, it's a matter of just troubleshooting, seeing what you did wrong. See, this 404 tells you that the page, see, I think this is where it is right here. Get static, where is that? Get static CSS blog. So, let's see, it does not exist. So, let's see real quick. Maybe we'll fix this static. So that's in the blog, in the templates, blog, and then base, right? Nano base. So static. Let's see. Maybe that's what we have to add here. It's usually real simple errors. Static. I tried my best to make sure that it was working before I recorded this video, but I've been trying to record this video for like a week now. So let's see here. Get back to my site 2. Alright. Run server. Let's see if it changes. No, it didn't change how it looked. That didn't change anything. Let's see where. Static, that's something right there. You see how it changed it? So let's go back. Alright, I gotta cut this video already. I don't want to be here because sometimes it'll take you a long time to freaking figure this out, and then you start getting all kind of frustrated, you know. CD blog static. I think I have to move the static file over to the blog directory. Let me see. Templates. Let me see. Okay. Let me first do this real quick. Okay. So let me do this real quick. No. My site 2 blog templates static. Okay, this file here static. Move to where do we want it? We want it my site 2. We want it here. Okay, so let's see now. My site 2. CD blog. Yes. There's the static. See the static files there, but now we have to go into templates and log nano base HTML. And now, I mean, because the CSS, you can get it to do, see, because right here, I think the error is that it's telling it to go to the root folder, right? So, it seems like we added that root folder. Let's see here, where am I at? Yes, that, I want to check that. Okay. So that's cool. So now let's go back to this here. I know I can get it to do the what is it called, the CSS, you know, just okay. So let's see what we get here. Let's see what error we get here. So there we go. See, now it's got the CSS, so that worked as far as that goes. But now, see, every time I try to click on there, it says 200, right? And it gives you this code here, but it does not tell you. I can't understand why when I click on the links, it does not let me see the actual page. If any of you noticed the mistake that I made, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. Have a great night, and I hope this helped you out in some way or another. Thank you. Have a great evening.